afternoon, everyone. It's my privilege to join with Mr. Anish in welcoming each one of you, and also our sister who did the welcome and the prayer. It's a joy to say a few words about my good friend, Dr. Chanchal Gayen. Nice to see you, Dr. Chanchal Gayen. It's a joy to see him here with us and also to make this very good and very important presentation for this afternoon. Dr. Chanchal, I'm sure, is not a stranger to many of us here. Maybe the students probably don't know Dr. Chanchal. Dr. Chanchal used to serve here as a faculty in the Department of Religion, and also he served as the Dean of Men here at Spicer. Currently, he serves as the Associate Professor with the University of the Southern Caribbean. He also serves as the Director of Caribbean Adventist Institute Missions. Before he moved to Caribbean, of course, he served here for a number of years, where I got to know him personally. In fact, I must say that we have spent a lot of time together very closely, because not only was he serving here as a faculty in the Department of Religion, but also before that, we did our studies together. We did our Doctor of Ministry together. We graduated more or less at the same time. And so it's really a joy to see my good friend again, and particularly in this context. Dr. Chanchal is also involved with several ministries like the CSAR, the AMR, and the JAMS, where he contributes very frequently, the Journal of Adventist Mission Studies, the Messenger, etc. So he's a good writer. He's blessed with a wife, Rita, son Samit, daughter Mary. He's blessed with 2 grandchildren as well. He's passionate about the mission of God and engages actively in his mission wherever possible. And today, he's going to talk to us about worldview transformation in the context of ministry among Southern Asians. Now, worldview, I'm sure that all of us, most of us are familiar with. It is really our assumptions of reality. To put it in a very simple way, I can say, what is our outlook? How do we look at things? And like, for example, for a Hindu's worldview is a cyclical worldview. For a Hindu, there is birth, death, and again rebirth, again life, death, rebirth, and so it goes on this way. It's a cyclical worldview. But we as Christians believe in a linear worldview, just to put it in a very simple way. And so today we want to look at what Dr. Chanchal has to share with us on this very important theme of worldview, and also on transformation in the context of ministry among Southern Asians. And being a Southern Asian himself, I know his heart is here, and he wants to make a presentation that will be relevant for each one of us. And so without taking much time, I want to give this time over to you, Dr. Chanchal, to make your presentation.
Happy Sabbath to everybody. Do you hear me?
Happy Sabbath.
Good morning from my end, and good afternoon to your end. It's just Sabbath morning, 10 to 6 for me. Well, my practice is that I wake up early morning, so it's not a challenge for me. You did not disturb my sleep. Thank you, Dr. Mohanraj, for your kind introduction. It was a real joyful experience of working with Dr. Mohan Raj when I was at Spicer, and later on we met in few occasions outside Spicer, and we could have a very good time. I'm glad to see some known faces there and feeling at home. In fact, my children grew up on the same campus. And so we as a family, we miss Spicer. You know, we take things granted. When we were on campus, we said more evil than good. Now, we were evil about than good, but when we came out from Spicer, we realized how important Spicer is in our life. And there are so many good things that Spicer can actually contribute to the rest of the world. And I am not making an overstatement. This is true. You know, even here at this university, many times we take references of Spicer and say, if we do these things, things will be better. So you are in a great place. My deepest condolences to the family of Donald. I knew him personally. He was a very humble man. I've never seen Donald speaking loudly. My condolences to the family. A very difficult topic that I'm trying to address. Worldview. That has become the buzzword for mission studies nowadays. And added to that is worldview transformation. And so I must express my sincere gratitude to all of you that you have given me an opportunity to talk about this issue that the whole church is working with. By the way, let me tell you, my backdrop, this is what I see every day when I stand in front of my office. The greens all around. Well, I know Spicer is also green. It's a beautiful place. To begin my presentation, let me share an incident that took place in one part of India. Here, a missionary couple, husband and wife, were placed into a new mission field, a totally unentered territory where people did know almost nothing about Christianity. Now, this couple went there, rented a house, started living. The lady did not have any of the traditional signs of marriage in her body. So the local ladies, they were wondering, what is the relationship between the man and the woman? They did not consider, they had a hard time to consider there any unlawful relationship between the man and the woman, because these man and the woman, they seems to be very God-fearing. They're very good. Their ethical standard is very high. They're very helpful. They had all good qualities. The only thing that they were struggling to find out the relationship between the man and the woman. So one day, the ladies, they asked this missionary wife, who is that man? And the lady said, my husband. He said, you are married? He said, yes, we are married. The next day, some of the ladies of the community, they came to their house, took this missionary wife to a in your body. Whereas the missionary wife, her worldview says, I do not need those things. So it was not just certain external features. The issue was much deeper. It was the understanding of the worldview. So what actually is the worldview? Let me share my screen with you. Worldview transformation in the context of ministry among the Southern Asians. Now, as Dr. Mohan Raj correctly said, that my concern is more of Southern Asia and Southern Asians, wherever they are. You know, we Southern Asians are no more restricted within the geography of India. The part of the world where I live, Southern Asians constitute almost half of the population. I live in Trinidad. You'll find it difficult to find the country in a world map because it's just the size of a dot. But if I say that this is the country of Brian Lara, many of you will know that. And in this country, almost half, maybe a little less than half of the population is Southern Asia origin. So my concern is Southern Asians, and my study field is basically on Hinduism. So I'll be referring more to Hinduism than any other faiths of Southern Asia. Now, what is the worldview? There are several definitions of worldview. I will just quote a few here. Dr. David Nugel, he said, a perspective on life, a whole system of thought that answers the question presented by the reality of existence. Now, he took it from the great man, Francis Schaeffer. So this definition actually comes from Francis Schaeffer. He said, a perspective on life, a whole system. Let's move forward. Kenneth H. Funk. Now, he is not from the field of theology, but listen to him, what he says. A worldview is a set of beliefs about fundamental aspects of reality that ground and influence all one's perceiving, thinking, knowing, and doing. James Anderson says, as the word itself suggests, a worldview is an overall view of the world. It is not a physical view of the world, but rather a philosophical view. an all-encompassing perspective on everything that exists and matters to us. Here is our, the mission students cannot study mission without this name, Heber. He says the fundamental cognitive and evaluative presuppositions a group of people makes about the nature of things and which they use to order their lives. Charles Kraft, again, another scholar in the field of mission, he says the culturally structured assumptions, values, and commitment allegiances underlying a people's perception of reality and their responses to those perceptions. These are all big definitions. I understand it in a very simple way, and this is what I want to share. It says it is the core of, to me, it is the core of life. It justifies why I contribute to a particular belief, practice, lifestyle, and why do I behave in a particular way. Today is Sabbath. We are in the church. Now, when I say church, I am not saying the church building that much, but I'm saying we are in the presence of the Lord, and we are not in our regular activities involved. We are trying our best to keep this day holy. Now, why we are trying this? Because my worldview says, and I believe your worldview also says, that the Lord has asked day holy. Used to wear in India. Now, why do I do that? Hindu priests are called Babaji. So a friend of mine, he calls me Babaji. I'm known as the Christian Pandit in this community. And he says, wearing dhoti is the prerogative of the priests alone. So I said, in that case, I can wear the dhoti. He said, oh, yes, very much. And if you wear the community, that's the worldview of the people, that a priest has to wear dhoti. Now, one day, I was going to preach in a church where more Bible. And so I look at the rest of the world from that worldview which Bible has given to me. Sorry. The third thing it does is it's like a contact lens. They affect everything that you see, but don't notice them. Worldviews are often taken for granted, unnoticed, just like a fish does not realize it is wet. I know people did not start today, or Seventh-day Adventists did not start this Sabbath day, start sitting in the morning and analyzing the worldview, that why they should keep the Sabbath day as a whole. They did in their worldview. They just continue to behave in that way. So we don't notice many of the things that we do, but if we sit for a while and give a deeper thought to it, we will see that that is an expression of our worldview. I continue. It's like a map and compass. It guides, directs, orients where we are and where we are going. It filters ourselves. It enlightens our mind about the world and place within it. Let me illustrate this point, these 2 points, with one illustration. Well, for us, this whole universe is the creation of God. And this being the creation of God, and as we read it in the book of Genesis, we see that God, after creation, gave it to Adam and Eve and said, have dominion over the creation. Now, when he said, have dominion over the creation, it does not mean that he wanted us to plunder this whole creation. Rather, he made us the stewards of this creation. As a result of that, we have responsibilities toward this whole creation. As long as we live on this earth, we must be conscious about this creation. And so we need to have awareness of ecology. We need to have awareness of environment and things like that. Our worldview tells us that. Now, if we look at the Hindu worldview, to them, this is an illusion. The whole creation is an illusion. And if this is an illusion, we don't need to have any responsibility toward that. So two different worldviews look at the same thing, but it gives us two different thoughts or two different ways of reacting to one specific thing. And that's what the worldview does to us. Now, what contributes to develop someone's worldview? Of course, the religion. Of course, the religion. Let me tell you an interesting thing that happens in this country. There is a Roman Catholic Church in this country. By the way, Roman Catholics are the majority here. There is a Roman Catholic Church. In that Catholic Church, there is a statue of Mother Mary. Now, usually we are familiar with the statue of Mother Mary in fair complexion, golden blonde hair, and things like that. But this statue is dark, dark, dark. And every year on Holy Thursday, the Hindus of this country, they go there to worship that statue as the Trinidad incarnation of Goddess Kali. They go there, put their offerings, pray to that statue. In fact, most of them, they carry a bottle of olive oil and few candles. They leave the candles there and they pour a portion of the olive oil in a can. There's a large can kept there, pour into it, and the rest they carry it, and the rest they touch it at the fringe of the gown of that statue and carry it home, considering that as a holy oil. Now, I spent a few years going there and interviewing some of these people. Well, if you want to study more or know more about that, there is an article I wrote in Journal of Adventist Mission Studies. You can get the detail there. Now, people, they go there and do that. Now, what came in the mind of these people to worship this idol? Hinduism is a faith that expresses its allegiance or its worship through idols or some tangible objects. Now, when these people, these indentured laborers, they came to Trinidad, they could not carry any idol with them. When they found this statue of Mary in a holy place, which resembles Kali, Goddess Kali, they said, this is Kali for us in this country. So here is a development, or here is an expression of their worldview of worship the divine through the tangible expression. And so they goes to that church on Holy Thursday, means the day before Good Friday, and they do. Do we do that without asking any question? Okay, please forgive me for making this or raising this question. I have no issues on this. But where does it say in the Bible that we have to wear a particular type of dressing when we go to the church? It doesn't say that. But why do we follow that? Because it's a long practice tradition in the community. It happens to all other communities as well. There's a long practice traditions. You know, I have a